got to play around with it, divide it in half, and put your bad stuff in there too.
I have a couple days I eat whatever I want, and then the rest of the time I try.
You're trying to eat healthy, right? So session 7 is know your nutrition facts and serving sizes. So this is an example of a label. And so a food label basically is going to give you your serving size at the top. And so most serving sizes are pretty standard on products today. Like dry cereal is 2/3 of a cup. But if you're looking at a bag, it might say this bag has 2 servings and you ate the whole bag. So now you got to times those calories times 2 because you didn't eat 1 serving, you ate 2 servings, okay? And so this nutrition label is based on a 2,000 calorie diet, which would be too much for the average small female, but it wouldn't be bad for an average guy, but for a big guy it wouldn't be enough food. And for somebody who was seriously athletic, it wouldn't be enough food. So depending on how much you move around, how much fat you want to lose, your age, and your size, that's going to dictate whether that caloric range actually works for you or not. So my Fitbit says I need to stay around 1,200 to 1,300 calories a day for me, based on me dubbing myself as lightly active, which I'm probably more active than that, but I wanted it to be a lower value. And then it ups it for me as I add my activity in, and it gives me more calories. But for an average woman my size, around 1,200 calories is not a bad thing to shoot for, and I'm 5'4". So, but nobody should eat less than 1,200 calories a day, because that's the basic minimum. Below that is considered starvation. And so you got the calories in the product right here. There you go. You can put that on top of the food pyramids there. And then you got how many calories come from fat, and it gives you the actual number of calories that came from fat in that product. And this one, it's 110. Then it tells you the total fat grams, how much saturated fat, and how much trans fat. So we know that saturated fat and trans fat from our previous discussions is the stuff that's worse for you, right? And it's the stuff that's going to help you keep fat on your body. So you're trying to eat low fat any way you go about it, because fat is full of energy, and that's why it's so easy to eat too much of it and then you're storing the stuff. Cholesterol is next. Everybody should eat less than 300 milligrams of cholesterol a day. 20% comes from your diet, 80% comes from your liver making it, okay? So that's why dietary changes helps your cholesterol profile a little bit, but really it's your liver making it. And so again, you want to look at things that are detoxifying to the liver. Are you doing things that are aggravating your liver? Medications do that, drinking does that, being sick does that, certain medicines can do that. Sodium, really looking for 2,400 milligrams a day. So you're looking how much sodium is in that product. So if you ate 2 servings of this product, you have to double the sodium. So if you're on a blood pressure medicine, you're really trying to eat a lot less salt than what's on that label there. And then carbohydrates are broken down into dietary fiber and sugars. So know that even if you're eating fruit, the sugars listed for that fruit has sugar. And whether it's fructose, maltose, dextrose, whatever the sugar is, sugar in the raw, it doesn't matter. Your body recognizes it as sugar. So you can kid yourself that honey's better than white sugar minutely. Your body is still going to look at it as sugar, as extra calories, and it's going to contribute it to what? Fat storage if you're not burning it. And so dietary fiber is something you don't, it comes out. It doesn't get broken down and used by the body. So dietary fiber is something that helps keep your colon healthy. It can help you lose weight. It helps you remain full. It helps lower cholesterol. And everybody's shooting for 25 grams of fiber a day, and this particular product had no fiber. So you can't count on this puppy in helping you get the 25 grams. That's got to come from whole grains, fruits, veggies, or like Metamucil, something of that nature. And then protein, the group that I'm always hounding on, that's the building blocks, and your body does not like to store that as fat. So if you overeat protein, you're less likely to store it as fat. And then at the bottom, you've got what that product has been fortified fortified with. So a lot of products now are fortified with vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and iron. Those are the 4 things, but iron can build up in you. So, you know, depending on for men and for older women, iron can build up in you and you might have too much iron. So you do, when you get your physical, you do want to have your iron tested. And the easy way to fix that is give blood. If you're low on iron, then you want to take either an iron supplement, eat some red meat, green leafy vegetables, a piece of liver, something of that nature. That's what elevates your iron. If you don't want the fat, unfortunately a lot of iron stuff has fat in it. You're better off taking an iron supplement of some type, okay? And that's something you can discuss with your doctor. So you want to know serving sizes and servings for the container. Most are standard, as we talked about. Some things are in metric. Nutrients are based on a single serving. The calories shown from fat, so the percentages over here show you what percentage of the product happens to be fat, cholesterol, sodium, and so on. So you can quickly look at that as a reference guide and see what's the biggest, what's the most predominant element in this food. Basically, a low-calorie food would be 40 calories. A modest calorie food is 100, and a high-calorie food is 400. So even these little snack baggies that say, ooh, it's tiny and it's only 100 calories, that's how much nutrition you're getting out of a snack baggie of 100 calories of some man-made crunchy thing. You're not getting a lot of nutrition out of that. So do you want to waste 100 calories on a snack baggie of something with no nutrition? Because a cup of veggies is 35 calories. So when they say low cal, they're talking really about vegetables. Because most other things are going to have more calories than that. High calorie foods, real easy, right? You know, have a meal in here, you're over 400 calories, I guarantee you, okay? Cholesterol, there you go, the 300 milligrams. Sodium, there you go, the 2,400 milligrams. We already talked about the 2,000 calories may be too much for most girls especially. We've already talked about the kinds of fats and what's good and what's not good, and they have listed here the ones that are best for you. And you're absolutely trying to limit saturated fat and avoid trans fat altogether. So keep the saturated fat, trans fat, and dietary cholesterol as low as possible. So in your cholesterol profile, if you come to me in your new nowadays, I teach you how to read your own biometric form. And I'm probably going to do a class on that on a Wellness Wednesday on how to read your own biometric form so that you can kind of look at it and know what's going on. But you got your total cholesterol and you got your HDL. They don't tell you your LDL on the form, but your LDL your doctor's going to know or the clinic's going to know because it comes out in the test. LDL is the bad stuff. And you kind of like to know what that number is because you want it to be under 130, okay? And that's the stuff your liver is making. So like if it runs in your family, you eat a lot of red meat, you're drinking a lot, you take a medication that can aggravate your liver, it could cause your liver to put out more cholesterol. And I do believe, and this is an anecdotal thing, so you can't quote me as it being medically sound, but I see in the blood work of women who are menopausal that their cholesterols go up. And I really believe it's because your body's putting out cholesterol because it wants you to make more estrogen, and because that's where your hormones, your testosterone as a man and your estrogen as a female is made from cholesterol. So there's healthy things cholesterol do. But I can see in women as they get older, their cholesterol levels are going up, and I think it's their body trying to get their body to make more estrogen, but it's just not working. So that's another reason why I think women experience the thickening of their waistlines and all, is because that's happening, plus maybe they're not eating as well or exercising as much as they did when they were younger. Let's flip the page. Okay, so sodium, we kind of talked about sodium. Sodium's mostly in canned goods, bagged goods, fast food, frozen food, condiments, salad dressing, sauces. Sodium isn't going to hurt the average person. It's really only something you need to worry about if you got heart disease. Okay, that's the main reason why you need to worry about sodium. We talked a little bit about fiber and sugars and the glycemic index, so anything that's highly processed is going to hits your bloodstream like a freight train. So things that are high in GI are what? Refined grains, white bread, potatoes, rice, white pasta. But worse than that, cold drinks. Anything made with sugar. Any baked goods, stuff like that. That's all going to hit you like a freight train because it's full of sugar. Low glycemic index are what? Whole grains, foods, fruits, and vegetables. And then it talks a little bit about refined foods and what fiber is and how you might get fiber in your diet. And it's absolutely what? Eating normal food. What should be considered normal food. It's unfortunate that people don't eat normal food anymore. And then proteins. Proteins, again, are your low-fat proteins. You're trying to get more beef, chicken, fish, seafood, turkey, protein drinks, skim or 1% on the milk, or low-fat cheeses or fat-free cheeses. All your white cheeses are going to be lower in fat than your yellow cheeses. And your soft cheeses are always going to be lower in fat than your hard cheeses. So that's something else to look at. And then speaking of fat, I brought this guy today. And this is an example, so if you want to know what your arteries could be looking like, this is basically what cholesterol can look like in an artery and how after a while the blood doesn't get through anymore, okay? This is an example of premium ice cream, which has 7 grams of saturated fat and 4 grams of unsaturated fat just from ice cream. Another really goodie I love is the croissant.
Wow.
Okay? Croissants are loaded in fat because every layer of that flaky pastry that you are enjoying has oil between the layers, saturated fat between the layers.